The August Heat finds the Baltimore Stallions and their head coach Don Matthews on top of the Southern Division. The astonishing Tracy Ham is their quarterback, and he leads an offense that has a wide open attack. But when you really talk about Baltimore, it's their dominating defense that everyone fears. But tonight, Pepper Rogers and his Memphis Mad Dogs come to Baltimore with their own weapons on defense. It's the Mad Dogs and Stallions next on The Deuce. For over 40 years, Memorial Stadium was the site of a number of memorable moments in both Major League Baseball and the NFL. And the Baltimore Stallions are continuing the tradition in the Canadian Football League. Live from Memorial Stadium, it's a Southern Division showdown as the Baltimore Stallions play host to the Mad Dogs from Memphis. And in the newly formed Southern Division, Baltimore is on top ahead of San Antonio with Memphis in the middle of the pack. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our coverage of the Canadian Football League on ESPN2. I'm Gus Johnson, and here in Baltimore, the Stallions have refused to let their loss in last year's Grey Cup hinder them in trying to get back to the championship game and bringing Lord Grey's Cup back to Memorial Stadium here in Baltimore. And in the Southern Division, they've shown that they are the class team as they've gone undefeated against Southern Division opponents. Their leader, Tracy Ham, and when he goes, they go, and that's something that this veteran of the CFL is fully aware of.
I just have to make sure that I go ahead and get into a rhythm. For me, I need to get into a rhythm fairly early and do positive things, because our defense is such a good defense that if I can put first downs together, the points will come. You know, I'm not in any hurry to put a whole bunch of points on the board, but if I put first downs together, the points will come from that, and not try and, you know, throw the long bomb to put the ball in the end zone.
And joining me now, my broadcast partner, Danny Kepley. And Dan, when you look at Baltimore, they're coming off a tough road trip, 3 games in 8 days, but they come out of it looking really good.
Well, they really do. It was a tough grind out there. They had a big win in Birmingham, one in Edmonton, which was as physical a game as I have seen. Then 3 days later, they go down to Calgary, play the #1 team there in the Northern Division, and they come away a couple of breaks here and there, a couple of bad calls, maybe. It could have been a different outcome, but Calgary came out ahead.
A lot of weapons on this team, both offensively and defensively, but this year they've got the X factor courtesy of a rookie.
They really do. A guy by the name of Chris Wright comes in there. They had good offense. They've had good defense. Both of those phases have gotten better. This guy brings them instant field position, leading the CFL in all-purpose yardage. He is a return guy. Anytime he touches the ball, he's got a chance to break it and take it home.
Defensively for Baltimore, they've got some changes on the line. Robert Pressberry will not be in the lineup because of a rib injury, but they're real pleased with the guy that's taken his place.
I tell you what, Press may be hurt that he got out of this game and had to miss it, but they got a guy by the name of Demetrius Maxey out of UTEP. 6'3", about 265, possesses all the qualities you want as a defensive lineman, and tonight he gets to show his stuff.
For Memphis, they've struggled, especially offensively. They've had times in which they've had 2 tight ends, 1 tight end, split backfield, but for Pepper Rogers, with all these problems on the offensive side of the football, that must be making him pull his hair out.
I tell you what, yesterday at the press conference, he came in and he was full of enthusiasm, so if this ball club has as much enthusiasm as he does, they will be pretty good, but they just have not had any consistencies. Injuries have hurt them a lot, and I can tell you they're just working a patchwork offense tonight, but we'll see. It's important that Damon Allen is able to keep some possession drives going.
And it's a warm evening here in the city of Baltimore. 95 degrees at kickoff time, a northwest wind 15 miles per hour. Very humid evening as well, and Memphis has won the toss. They are receiving. This is Anthony Jordan from his 11-yard line. And Jordan gets up to the 30 before being stopped. 15-yard gain. Your quarterback, Damon Allen, 57%. His numbers are up a little bit this year. 4 touchdowns, 8 interceptions offensively for Memphis. Damon Allen is their leader at quarterback, and Joe Horn is the most veteran receiver that they have on this team at this point because of a number of injuries they've suffered. So he'll start first down. And they give it to Shipman. Shipman trying to bounce it outside, cuts it in. Al Shipman gets up close to the 50-yard line. Gain of 18 yards for the rookie out of the University of Miami, defensively for Baltimore. Elfrid Payton leads the CFL in sacks with 10. Matt Goodwin, last year's CFL Rookie of the Year, is that outside linebacker. And Irv Smith, an All-East performer, number 21, the right cornerback.
Good look at Al Shipman there, and it's important that they start this thing off right. He's taking Gary Anderson's place, who was injured during the week.
And on first down, this one incomplete, intended for Joe Horn. But there's a flag on the play at the 50-yard line, the Memphis 50. And Damon Allen, we looked at his numbers, Danny. They're up a little bit, but the production of this offense, as we've talked about in our open, is down. And in a way, they're wondering why.
They really have. They've only scored 7 touchdowns, 3 by the run, 4 by the pass, 2 by return. That makes it 9 in total, but 7 offensively.
Offside. Memphis number 15 declined. Second down.
Why did they bring the ball
Memphis
from the other side?
called for the offside penalty. Kendrick Jones, rookie out of the University of Tennessee.
Run that over to Ken.
That'll make it second down and 10 yards to go. And here's Allen in trouble, firing underneath, complete to Horn, and Joe Horn makes the reception. O.J. Brigance with the tackle, but Joe Horn really delivering a lick, gain of 16.
Damon Allen being able to do the things that he does best. Get away from the heat, then keep looking downfield, open up, now find the open receiver who's worked hard to find the open spot in that zone. And Joe Horn comes up with his 27th catch of the season.
And that makes it first down for Memphis. And they give it to Shipman, and Shipman has plenty of daylight, hauled down from behind, but little Al Shipman gets to the 25-yard line. Another huge gain for him on his second carry, this time 17 yards.
Give the ball deep to Shipman, because this guy's got great vision and tremendous acceleration. He runs a 4.28 40, and this guy can make a lot of things happen. Good blocking up front by Brown and Ritter off of that right side.
Al Shipman left the University of Miami after his junior season, had some academic problems, and decided to come into the CFL. He's the youngest player in the Canadian Football League, and on first down, they keep the ball on the ground. Bruce Perkins running it. Third-year player out of Arizona State gets to the 20.
For Damon Allen in this offense, this has got to be some tremendous confidence builder to be able to rush the ball against a very potent defense in Baltimore and seeing to be able to move the ball very handily.
5-yard gain on the play, second down, 5.
And
that's a good look at the go chart that they have for Damon Allen on his wrist, that he checks his plays and wants to call them under certain situations on the field.
gain of 6, second and 4, incomplete. Intended for Kendrick Jones, but he heard some footsteps as Courtney Griffin was right on top of the play.
Great catch. He's going to look and try to turn back, and he's going to throw a quick slant route. The ball's there. That's the kind of thing that Kendrick Jones has to make. When you've got an opportunity to make the big play, come up big.
And that brings on the field goal unit for Memphis. This is Nick Mystrom, who is also a slot back, 1 for 4 on the year. 27-yard attempt. His holder is Damon Allen. And Mystrom nails a field goal, and the Baltimore Stallions are now trailing Memphis 3-0 with 11:32 remaining in the first quarter of play. The CFL on ESPN2 is brought to you by Levi's 501 Jeans. Be your own reason. And by Pep Boys. For quality parts, accessories, and service, come to Pep Boys, America's Automotive Supercenter. And we're back at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, where the Memphis Mad Dogs have taken a 3-0 lead, and Memphis goes 8 plays for 60 yards, and Mystrom nails a 27-yard field goal for our first score of the game. And that's something this Memphis team wants to do. And That's get some points on the board as early as possible.
And that's exactly. They've had a lot of trouble scoring touchdowns and field goals. They actually lead the league in singles, which isn't going to help them win a lot of football games. But from that drive right there to be able to take the ball, move it down as good as they did, get it in the field goal ring, and come away with some points, again, is a very positive thing for the Memphis Mad Dogs.
So here's Aaron Canner kicking off. And this will be Mike Pringle at the 15. Pringle breaks it outside. He's got a convoy in front of him. And Mike Pringle, a great run, gets up close to midfield. He may be in Memphis territory, depending on the spot. Gain of 36.
Little confusion in the backfield as far as who's going to receive it, but Pringle is the guy that comes up with it, and he's tremendous burst of speed, and guys know if they get out in front, make one little block, get a little piece of somebody, Mike Pringle can make a lot of things happen. And you talk about bringing the ball back to midfield, giving Tracy Ham 1st and 10 on the 55.
Mike Pringle last year, the #1 rusher in the CFL, comes into this game as the #2 rusher in the league. And on 1st down, they give it to Pringle, last year's Eastern most outstanding player, and your quarterback Tracy Ham. And Danny, he's been doing it well in this league for a long time.
This is a guy who's been a little hurt, and he got hurt with his foot last week, but it seems to be doing pretty well now.
Nick Subis, number 51, comes back at center after sitting out 5 games with a rib injury. And Mike Pringle and Tracy Ham, we've talked about him, but keep your eye on Chris Armstrong, number 81. He leads this team in every receiving category. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Ham's going to let it fly, and it's complete at the 42. That's Chris Armstrong with his first reception of the game. For Memphis defensively, they've got one of the best front lines in the CFL, Danny.
Well, they certainly do. This is a defense that comes in that is a veteran defense. It may be a first-year team, but these guys all have CFL experience.
Cofield and Harding last year with 16 sacks apiece, tied for 2nd in the CFL. The completion to Armstrong makes it 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Play action for Ham. Sets his feet, going in the end zone for Culver. Incomplete. Skinny Culver at least had 3 yards on the closest Memphis defender, but Ham couldn't put it on him.
Skinny Culver is a guy that didn't have an opportunity last year because of some immaturity to play for the Baltimore Stallions, but this time he does a little shift. You can see there's got to be a mix-up in the secondary of Memphis because all of a sudden Damian Lyons, the corner, was expecting to have deep help. Skinny ran by everybody, and Tracy Ham just overthrew the open Skinny Culver.
Culver played 1 game with Baltimore last year and quit the team. Sat out the entire year, came back in shape and with a better attitude and got a starting job. And here's Ham throwing again. Incomplete. Robert Clark, the intended receiver, and once again he had a step, this time on Junior Robinson. So Ham throwing the ball vertically a little bit, and that's not normally what he's accustomed to doing.
Well, I think Tracy's one of those kind of guys. He's very patient about some things, and he can nickel and dime it, take exactly what you give him. But maybe he felt after that big drive that Memphis had coming down there, scoring that field goal to begin with, that he needed to reciprocate and make something happen quickly. And that's why he was trying to take it downtown early.
Brings on Carlos Huerta for a 50-yard field goal attempt. Huerta, 23 of 29 on the year, and low line drive, he nails it. Carlos Huerta, 50-yard field goal, and he ties this game up at 3. 8:59 remaining in the 1st quarter of play. We've got a tie score from Baltimore. Marino Sullivan performing today here at Memorial Stadium before the game, and she She's the wife of Baltimore head coach Don Matthews, and not a bad singing voice. Janis Joplin kind of
Terrific voice. She can sing it all. She does rhythm and blues. She does country western. That'll keep him young for a while, won't it?
And the scoring drive, 6 plays. Carlos Huerta with the 50-yard field goal, and Damon Allen and the Mad Dogs take it from the 35. Allen steps up in the pocket, finds Brad Breedlove at the 45, and Breedlove gets close to the first down mark. Brad.
Patented Damon Allen stuff as far as getting back there, taking a very, very deep drop, trying to look downfield. Baltimore does an excellent job of taking the deep routes away. Breedlove works hard underneath the zone. Damon Allen's got the time and the precision to put the ball on the money.
Gain of 10, first down from the 45. Dogs send 2 receivers to the near side of the field. Breedlove in the slot, draw play. It's a Shipman, and Al Shipman breaks it upfield again for another big chunk of yardage. Looks like a gain of 11 yards, and Shipman is just having a good first quarter.
Baltimore's defense is doing an excellent job of trying to get upfield and contain a very elusive Damon Allen. That leaves a lot of open ground in the middle, and Al Shipman's making an excellent job of picking up, reading his blocks, and finding the open territory, moving the ball up the field.
So far for Shipman, 3 carries, 47 yards, and we're still in the first quarter of play. And here's Allen rolling out. Pocket collapsing, and he's going to throw this one away. Closest man of the football, Joe Horn, but Horn was covered by Courtney Griffin. And Pepper Rogers, the head coach of this Mad Dogs team, his first season in the CFL 2 times. He was the National Coach of the Year in college football as he coached for Kansas and UCLA, also coached at his alma mater of Georgia Tech. And we've got an injured player on the 40-yard line. That's Grant Carter, 3-time All-Big West defensive tackle out of Pacific. And they're really pleased with the way he's played this year, and he's face down at the 40. For Baltimore, Don Matthews, 56 years old, graduate of the University of Idaho. He's the 5th winningest coach in Canadian Football League history, and behind Bud Grant, who also coached in the Canadian Football League and went on to have a number of successful years in the NFL. Matthews was the only coach to get to 100 wins quicker. And there's Carter.
When you take a look as Carter came in there and he was straining, and all of a sudden he threw that right arm up and he caught Damon Allen's helmet right against his head, and it really twisted his torso right on the right-hand side. You can see just a bit of it, and he looked like he caught maybe the heel of Damon Allen up under the rib cage, and that may have just knocked the wind out of him because he looks to be okay standing up on his own power on the sideline.
Makes it 2nd down and 10 from the Baltimore 54. Out of the I formation. Allen straight drop back, firing, complete to Horn. Joe Horn with another reception, this time inside the 35. Gain of 21.
Terrific pattern this time by Joe Horn as he goes down and he really makes Courtney Griffin, the corner, believe that he's going to take him deep to the corner route, and then he just curls it back inside. Damon Allen has enough time as he's moved the pocket out behind the tackle, and he's got the precision to throw the ball on the money. That's a big game for the Memphis Mad Dog.
Joe Horn last week against San Antonio, 4 receptions, 93 yards. He came into this game with only 7 receptions on the year, and we've got penalty flags on the play. Looks like a little movement on the defensive line of Baltimore.
Alfred Payton trying to anticipate that count, got caught in the backfield before the snap.
Offside. Baltimore 56, 1st and 5.
Neil Payne, your referee, and that's going to allow Memphis to get a little bit closer to that Stallions goal line. Makes it 1st and 5 from the 28. Draw play. This is Charlie Miles, and Miles is going to go backwards, still on his feet. Miles dragged all the way back close to the 40. Alvin Walton there to finish the tackle.
Terrific adjustment by that Baltimore defense in front. Everybody's handling the guys, covering the gap. Gerald Bayless does a terrific job of handling Vance Ham in the center. Forces Miles to have to break away from the place that he really wanted to go, an open area, and then that great speed of the Baltimore defense was able to chase him down and put him on his back.
Gravely led Baltimore in tackles last year, and he leads them right now with 32, and he's a fifth-year player out of Concordia. Second down, 9. Incomplete. Joe Horn, the intended receiver, and Damon Allen goes down hard as he let go of the football, and he is right now on both knees at the 40. Gerald Bayless with hot pursuit.
Gerald Bayless in his 11th year, 6 foot, about 265, just handles the middle and handles the center as Vance Hammond is able to get right up into the chest of Damon Allen, and he hit him with everything he had. Take a look, Bayless right on the nose. All he's going to do is just a good hard arm under, and then as the ball is thrown, he comes down at its knees, and he catches Damon right into the top of the thighs as he kept working up the field, and he catches Damon off balance and not anticipating that hit.
That's the same injury that Randall Cunningham suffered in the NFL that put him out for the entire season for the Eagles a couple of years ago.
It's really hard because the quarterback's vision is down the field. He's looking down there. You can feel it when a defensive lineman is starting to come up and he's standing straight up at you. But when he's down below your waistline area, your vision is just not down there, and it hits you off guard, and it does have this kind of effect as Damon Allen is trying to shake that off.
So your backup quarterback, Ricky Foggy, who has been in the CFL a number of years, he's seen spot duty, 3 of 19, 63 yards, 2 interceptions, and no touchdowns. Foggy was an all-star in the Big Ten when he played for Minnesota. So Damon Allen is helped off the field on 3rd down and 8. Memphis will attempt yet another field goal. This will be the second one of the game for Nick Mystrom. 39-yard field goal attempt.
Now that's the new kicker. This is only the 6th attempt that Nystrom has made. He's 2 of 5.
And Nick Mystrom drills his second field goal of the game, and Memphis takes a 6-3 lead with 4:56 remaining in the first quarter against Baltimore. Memphis leads Baltimore on the road 6-3 in the first quarter of play.
Gus, it's surprising. I think Memphis has had some great success so far. Don Matthews said yesterday that his team is a team that expects absolutely to go out there and win every game. They were kind of peeved off last week of losing that game to Calgary, and they think right now that they're going to bounce back extremely. The first few minutes that we have seen so far, they may be taking Memphis a little lightly, and Memphis is having some opportunity to score some points early. Memphis
comes into this ball game with a 3-4 record, while Baltimore is at 5-2, and Memphis 0-1 versus Southern Division teams. And offensively, we've told you about their struggles, but talking to Damon Allen, this team is so confident with their defense that if the offense could just give them a little bit, then they think they can win.
The big thing that's happening is that offense is helping to rest that defense a little bit, which can give them more opportunity.
And this will be the return specialist, Chris Wright, who leads the CFL in all-purpose yards. They set it up on the right side, and Wright picks up good yardage, gets close to the 40-yard line. They'll spot it at about the 38. Run back of 17 yards. And Tracy Ham, on his first couple of possessions, this Baltimore offense hadn't looked as crisp as it normally does.
He really hadn't. He came in, he said that he was going to take whatever they had to give him, and he wasn't going to take it downtown the first couple series. He was trying to make something big happen. Maybe Tracy will settle down now, come back to that perceived game plan, and be able to move that ball methodically down the field for the Baltimore Stallions.
Stallions average 225 yards passing per game. They set up the quick screen to Pringle, and he's tackled from behind at the 44. Middle linebacker Greg Battle with the stop.
Now this is just kind of actually it's just a running screen where they're going to try to get Pringle out there one-on-one. They're hoping that they got man coverage, but they don't. Memphis catches them, put them in a zone defense, and the great pursuit of that middle linebacker, Greg Battle. out of Arizona State is able to cut that gain to only about 5 yards.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Short drop again. Culver working on Don Odegaard. Almost broke away, but he's all down at midfield, which in the CFL is a 55-yard line.
Now this is a new experience for Odegaard, I think, as far as the CFL is concerned. He is a converted safety, but because of some of the injuries that have taken place in the Memphis secondary, he is playing the corner, and it is a tough grind. And obviously, Odegaard has to really respect the kind of speed that a Shannon Skinny Culver has.
Odegaard picked by the Bengals in the 6th round of the 1990 NFL Draft. First down and 10 from midfield. Inside handoff to Pringle. Cuts it back in, and Mike Pringle gets to the 48, tackled by Bartow.
Baltimore doing some counter stuff here and trying to make this Memphis team have to chase Pringle around. They do a good job of walling off on the outside. Pringle following his block. That's Neil Forth, the big tackle that he gets in front of Danton Bartow. The outside linebacker does a terrific job fighting off the block, getting down the line of scrimmage and making that tackle.
Gain of 7. 2nd and 3. And a penalty flag. Looked like some movement on the defensive line of the Mad Dogs this time. Stephen Bates, 4th-year player out of James Madison.
Offside. Memphis 92. First down.
Just to repeat one of the rules in the Canadian Football League, the defensive line has had to line up a yard off the line of scrimmage. And Stephen Bates was just trying to anticipate that count. Tracy Ham came in there, gave him the stutter count, that hut, hut, hut. And all of a sudden, Bates was in the backfield, gets called for the flag.
First down. Here's Ham. Under pressure, Ham's going to let it fly, and it's incomplete. Good defensive pressure by Tim Cofield, who's 2nd in the CFL in sacks this year with 8.
Good containment on the outside. Alex Gordon is the guy. He's working on Neil Forth, the big cuz. Right tackle forces Tracy Ham to have to get outside, and Cofield, with the terrific speed that he has in pursuit from the backside, gets to Tracy just as he's releasing the ball and forces him to throw the ball short.
2nd down and 10 from the 43. For Tracy Ham. Won 2 national championships at Georgia Southern, playing for Irk Russell. And here's Ham again, letting it go to the near side. Complete inside the 15. Chris Armstrong with the reception. His 2nd big one of the game.
Easy pattern. Sprint out to the right. Throw back. Post corner. Now he gets Junior Robinson all turned around. Tracy Ham has plenty of time to throw the ball, and it turns out to be a 30-yard reception.
Chris Armstrong led the team in all 3 receiving categories in 1994. 72 receptions for 1,586 yards and 18 touchdowns. Baltimore deep inside Memphis territory at the 14. Here's Ham passing on first down in the end zone, and it's intercepted. Eric Nelson with the interception in the end zone, and he brings it out to the 10-yard line. Only the 5th interception of the year by Tracy Ham. Eric Nelson, a rookie out of Memphis, picks up his first pick of the year.
Good coverage in the secondary by Memphis. Tracy's going to sprint out. He wants to throw to the outside, but now he comes back to his 3rd receiver, and he holds the ball a little too long, tries to find Armstrong in the middle, but Eric Nelson, playing a terrific center field, looks that ball in, picks it up, maybe makes a bad decision to bring it out, but if they don't, they give up a single point to Baltimore. But in this case, they turn the ball back over to that offense, and Damon Allen, they scrimmage it out, 1st and 10.
13th interception of the year for this Mad Dogs team. And they have the ball now on their own 10. On first down, they stay on the ground, and here's Al Shipman. And Shipman continues to bull his way ahead, and he'll tack on additional yardage to this gain as Al Shipman, somebody grabbed his face mask.
Shipman gets the ball deep, a kind of series that you want to call a search series. You want to give it to him deep, let him find the search and find the open spot. And that looks like Alfred Payton, number 56, who's hustling over there to try to get in on the tackle. Grabs a hold of the mask. He'll tack on 15 from that point.
Don Matthews a little concerned on his sideline with the way his team is playing right now. But for Memphis, they're doing a very good job rushing the football. They're third in the CFL in rushing, averaging 109 yards a game. Short drop by Allen to the far side, complete. Joe Horn, another reception for him, but he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A very dangerous pass by Damon Allen. That time he comes out just a quick three-step drop. It's a hitch to the wide side. I'm sorry, then Foggy, I should say.
Ricky Foggy, University of Minnesota's all-time leader in total offense, and more than a good enough backup. Second down and 4. Here's Foggy. Pocket breaks, but he gets it off anyway, and an incomplete pass because Al Shipman unable to haul it in. As you take a look at the owner of the Baltimore Stallions, Jim Sparrows, who has definitely brought a winner to this town.
He started off, and this is a guy that is a big motivator, a big believer in the CFL, and he's starting to build his franchise. He went right to Don Matthews and put a lot of
interference. Memphis number 81, penalties declined. Third. Oh.
Just to finish that thought, put a lot of faith in Don Matthews, who surrounded himself by some great Canadian talent.
So we're at the end of the first quarter. Memphis with a surprise 6-3 lead over Baltimore. From the beautiful city of Baltimore, it's a 6-3 game as the Memphis Mad Dogs lead it in a Southern Division matchup. And the Stallions last year went 14-6, advancing to the Grey Cup and eventually losing to BC. Well, at that time, they weren't the Stallions. They were the Baltimore CFLs, and playing here at Memorial Stadium, a number of great professional athletes are decorating the walls here. Johnny Unitas. You don't have to say much about Johnny U with the Baltimore Colts.
The ring honor there. There's a lot of pressure on these Canadian Football League players to play with a lot of respect and a lot of honor. They have a lot of things to live up to that these people of Baltimore are used to.
First down and 10 from the 53. Here's Pringle. Mike Pringle gets up to the 45, 7-yard game as Greg Battle and Donton Bardo come up with the hit.
Battle in his 9th year out of Arizona State. This is a guy 2 times in the CFL has been named most valuable defensive player when he was with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers between 1987 and 1993.
They sent 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Second down and 3. Here's Pringle and a nice play in the backfield. That's Bardo again, somehow managing to shake off his man and make contact with Mike Pringle.
Bardo jumps on the line of scrimmage and anticipates the snap, and then he has terrific penetration, gets the left arm out before Mike Pringle can even get going, and makes a terrific second down play, sets up third down and a field goal for Carlos Huerta.
Carlos Huerta, 53-yard field goal attempt here. He's 1 for 1 from 50 yards and out. Dan Crowley, the third-string quarterback, the holder. And it's good. Carlos Huerta, as Don Matthews likes to say, the most dangerous weapon on the team, nails the 52-yarder, and it's a tie score, 6-6 here in the second quarter.
Carlos Huerta, one of the kickers in the CFL that doesn't use a kicking tee. A franchise record 52-yard field goal. Perfect snap. Good hold by Crowley and a powerful leg by this young kicker. splits the upright, makes him 25 of 31 field goals through the course of this young CFL season.
Franchise 52-yard field goal, franchise record for Carlos Huerta. And kicking without a tee, he's going to get a lot of looks from those guys in that other league.
I tell you what, Coach Matthews is very aware that he may lose him to the NFL next year. Just broke his own record. He had the 51-yarder.
First down and 10 from the 35 for Memphis. Ricky Foggy still in the game for Damon Allen. And it's incomplete. Keith Benton had the ball in his hands, but drops the football, but there are flags on the play. Could be a holding penalty.
Good call, Gus. Exactly that. Guys trying to protect Ricky Foggy a little bit up in the front line. That's either Perez or Jones off the left side.
As the officials sort things out.
Holding. 62 Memphis has been accepted. Illegal receiver. Memphis has been declined. Second down.
Chris Perez, the left tackle. And that is not a good sign if you're a Memphis Mad Dogs fan. Damon Allen with the crutches and ice on his left knee. And it looks from this vantage point that he's done.
Well, it certainly does, and that can certainly cause a lot of stress for the head coach, Pepper Rogers.
First and 10 from the 25, from the 20 rather. To the far side, incomplete. Intended for Joe Horn again, and Ricky Foggy hadn't been used very much. He's going to have to get the cobwebs out, Danny, and get rolling quickly.
Ricky Foggy in his 8th year out of Minneapolis. Now, this is a guy out of Minnesota, I should say, that has been a very, very good backup quarterback in the CFL. He's been able to come out of the bullpen, make a lot of things happen, and this time, right now, he knows that everything rests on him. There's nobody to look over his shoulder is going to come in if he can't get the job done. So, this is the guys who got to rise up to the challenge, and everybody's got to just notch up their belt a little tighter.
Second down and a long 20. And another flag on the play.
Time count violation.
Foggy.
Time count violation. Memphis number 14. Second down.
And when you haven't played very much a quarterback, maybe it takes a little time to get your timing down.
Gus, you'd have to think through the course of the week that through Braxton that Damon Allen is the guy that's going to take the significant number of reps. And this offense, and that is something that takes a little more getting used to. You've got a new quarterback back there, but he's been around the league long enough. He knows to look at that clock and when he's got to get the play off.
Third penalty for Memphis, and both teams have 20 yards in penalties. Ricky Foggy will have now second down and 25. A lot of real estate in front of him. Out of the shotgun. Foggy, he's going to run it. At the 30, slides down at the 31. Matt Goodwin, the closest Baltimore defender, gain of 11, but not enough for the first down, so that'll sit on the punting unit for Memphis.
Good play by Memphis as far as the selection of plays. Wants to get out. It's a drop and roll out of the shotgun position. Baltimore's playing a really soft defense. They're going to take everything away deep, force something to be happening in front. In this case, it just happens to be Ricky Foggy that's going to run the ball. Then they close in with that great pursuit that they have and shut it down before he can pick up the first down.
Aaron Canner punting for Memphis, averaging 42 yards on the year. Back deep for Baltimore, Chris Wright. Standing at his 15 is Canner.
Look out for Wright. This guy can make it happen.
And this punt is angled toward the far sideline at about the 54, 29-yard punt for Canner. And the whole kicking game itself has been a Achilles heel for this Memphis team so far this year, Dan.
Well, this has been just as part of the game as their offense and defense. They've had some injuries, they've had some people hurt, and they're just trying to fill people in. Canner's doing an excellent job, and I think in that case what he was really worried about was kicking the ball away from Chris Wright so that he doesn't get his hands on it. He kicked it out of bounds, and it starts it up and sets up Baltimore and Tracy Ham, 1st and 10 on the 54.
Pringle with a blocker in front of him, cuts it back inside. Pringle at the 45. Mike Pringle down to the 30, and Mike Pringle gets out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Eric Nelson there to chase him out of bounds. Gain of 28.
One of his great assets is his speed, his vision. He's taken out. It's a counter to come back. Now he's going to take it all the way back across the grain. Couple of missed tackles there by Junior Robinson. Allows Pringle, because when you hit Pringle in the thigh area, that's his power. He ran right through it. Was able to get outside, up the field, and force Eric Nelson, the safety, to have to come all the way over.
Last week, Pringle was held to only 33 yards on 12 carries against Calgary, and talking to his coaches, he was a little upset with that performance, and he's come out determined this evening. Here's Ham passing. Buying time, Tracy Ham runs the football, gets out of bounds at the 25.
Tracy Ham showing a lot of tremendous maturity here that he's had and he's acquired over the past couple of years. Now when he scrambles, as far as scrambling, he's not scrambling to run and pick up the first down. He's scrambling to buy some time. Those offensive receivers are down, trying to find an open area, good coverage. Now Tracy does what he can do naturally. Just use that speed of his, get outside, and try to pick up the first down. And he shows you he's a high jumper, he's a hurdler, he can do it all. Now he comes back and he sets it up. 2nd and about 5.
Tracy Ham, the second all-time leading rusher in Canadian Football League history, behind guess who? Damon Allen. And this ball is caught by Chris Armstrong. Ed Berry there along with Eric Nelson.
The kind of sixth sense that receivers and quarterback have. The ball's in the air now. Watch as the head turns. The ball has been there in the air. It almost surprises Chris Armstrong, but he does a great job of concentrating, looking the ball in. It almost slipped through his hands, but he was able to come up with the receiver.
Armstrong, an all-CIAA player at Fayetteville State in his 4th year, and how he was acquired by this Baltimore team is an interesting story that we'll talk to you about in a little while. First down, Pringle. And Mike Pringle fumbles the football, and it's recovered by the Mad Dogs. Eric Nelson, who already had an interception, comes up with the fumble recovery, his first of the year. And Memphis, once again, stops Baltimore short of the goal line. 10-14 remaining in the 2nd quarter. We're still knotted up at 6.
The top right of your screen, that's Pringle 27, the left guard on that side. Withercomb's just going to pull. Inside trap play. He follows Withercomb up the field. The ball pops out all of a sudden. And there is Eric Nelson, the safety, the guy that comes up with a big turnover and keeps Memphis back alive. They're bending, but they're not breaking against this first-place Baltimore Stallion team.
15th fumble of the year for Baltimore as Rodney Harding was shaken up on the last play, a 4-time All-Eastern All-Star. Had 16 sacks last year, which was tied for 2nd in the CFL. And Mike Pringle and the Baltimore Stallions have had problems fumbling the ball. They fumbled the ball 15 times as opposed to their opponents who only fumbled the ball 6 times when playing Baltimore. Ricky Foggy starts from his own 12-yard line, first down and 10. 10:07 left in the 2nd quarter, and he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Crowd's getting into it now. Complete up to the 21-yard line. 8-yard gain for Brad Breedlove. And Danny, when you're a quarterback coming into the ball game as a replacement, what kind of plays do they want to run for you so you can get yourself ready to play or get yourself in a groove?
Well, obviously you want to run some plays that you're going to have some success with, but also they've had some opportunity through the course of that first quarter to see exactly what they're able to do against this very tough Baltimore defense, and he's doing that.
He's gained 9 on the last play, and on 2nd and short, they give it straight ahead to Bruce Perkins, and he picks up the first down.
Bruce Perkins is a guy that has a lot of CFL experience with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 1993. Led the CFL in rushing attempts with 173 attempts. Gained 812 yards. He's a big man, 6'2 and a half, 232 out of Arizona State. Slashing, powerful type runner.
1st and 10 from the 25. Foggy out of the gun. Under pressure, gets it off. Caught by Breedlove at the 32. Tackled by Tracy Gravely, but there is a flag on the play.
Late flag, look for holding. May have saw it right in the middle. It looked like Vance Hammond, number 61, the center.
Holding, 56 Memphis. Roughing the passer, Baltimore number 56. 5-yard penalty, 5-yard first down.
Right in the middle, you could see your Ricky Foggy looking downfield, but at the last minute, that was number 99, Demetrius Maxey, that gets up the field, and it looks like Vance Hammond, as I said, number 61, that came over to try to cover up, and he pulled him down from behind.
So it's now 1st down and 10 from the 30. Joe Horn splits out to the top of your screen. Here's Shipman. And Shipman wrestled down at the 32-yard line. O.J. Brigance, the former All-Western Division player when he played for BC, makes the tackle.
Very active middle linebacker. This is one of the best in the CFL and one of the nicest men that you want to meet. This guy makes a lot happen. He's not that big, 6 foot, about 220 pounds, but he can cover from sideline to sideline as well as anybody in this league.
Al Shipman still running the ball effectively. 5 carries, 58 yards. 2nd and 6. They go to the near side. And what a catch by Joe Horn. Out of bounds. Joe Horn at the 45-yard line. A Willie Mays basket catch. Working on Irv Smith.
Look at this. There's nothing fancy to it. It's just streak, speed against speed. The ball's thrown. Smith can't find the ball at the last minute, but the right hand comes down and looks like it grabbed a hold of the face mask of Joe Horn. So tack 15 yards onto this. And they just called pass interference as opposed to a face mask. Obviously, decline. Take the penalty there still.
So Memphis gets another positive call, and they march it toward the Baltimore goal line. Now the ball's on the 46. 1st down and 10. Draw play to Shipman. Shipman ducks inside, but is tackled by Tracy Gravely. Somehow Gravely was able to grab his ankle and haul him down. And this guy runs a 4.2 40-yard dash.
In the eye, Joe Bayless picks aside, goes around to the right, gets good penetration, but the terrific quick feet of Shipman is able to avoid that, get the ball upfield. Very impressed so far with the play selection that Ricky Foggy comes in here with, mixing it up, runs it in, gets that defense and tries to slow him up a little bit, throws the hot routes to the slot, and when he feels comfortable, takes it downtown to the wideouts.
Gains 1 yard, 2nd down and 9. Underneath, incomplete, and a flag will be thrown on the play. Ken Watson, 7th-year player out of Livingston, called for pass interference. Brad Breedlove, the intended receiver. And Don Matthews not at all pleased with that call.
Pass interference, Baltimore number 38, 1st down.
Take a look as the play is going to happen. Ricky Foggy's got plenty of time. Great protection, good vision down the field. Throws the ball to the outside. Watson's over top. They say the contact takes place as that left arm came in front.
So Ken Watson gives the Mad Dogs an automatic first down with the ball spotted at the 35. Bootleg, Foggy with plenty of room in front of him. And Foggy goes down at the 25, and they may spot it at the 24. 11-yard pickup for Ricky Foggy. And the play action worked to perfection for Memphis.
This is a play that you want to call the Sally Ran or the naked bootleg. As he comes in, he fakes that inside dive play, gets Alfred Payton to bite really hard down inside, loses contain. Now it's Foggy one-on-one, lots of pasture in front of him. The only guy he sees is the corner, Courtney Griffin, that comes up to make the tackle, but not before he's picked up 9 yards and puts him in a great second and short situation.
They give it to the up back. This is Perkins, and he picks up the first down. Bruce Perkins has been doing all the short yardage work. Grant Carter with the tackle.
Take a good look at Tracy Ham going back, having a conversation with Mike Pringle on the sideline, trying to talk about what do you think we got to do? What do you think you can do? Where can I help you? What do you see something that I don't see? And then if it happens, let's go out there and let's execute it. Let's get our team back in this ball game.
Right now, it's Memphis controlling the tempo of this ball game. On the Baltimore 22-yard line, first down. Over the middle, complete. Big reception made deep inside Baltimore territory by Keith Benton, rookie out of Memphis.
But they do a terrific job. They run the trips to the left of the field. Now he's going to fake the hitch. He's coming back to the slot back on the quick post inside, who happens to have a chance to get inside Ken Watson. He knows that when he steps back there, 1-2, fake. He knows he's going to get hit, but he stands in there, takes one for the Gipper, and stays in there as Alfred Payton levels him. But he still makes the reception and the pass completion.
Keith Benton with only his second reception of the year, and now it's first down and goal to goal from the Baltimore 5. And they run the option to the corner, and it looks like Memphis will get into the end zone for the touchdown. Charlie Miles running the option play. First-year player out of East Carolina gets in and scores, and now this Memphis team are gaining a little bit of confidence.
Some plays they set up earlier with Perkins running the ball inside. Now they get that defense to bite down inside. Quick toss on the option play, gives it to Miles. Now it's just foot speed, racing to the corner of the end zone, and Miles is able to beat beyond pursuing Baltimore Stallions and comes up for the first major of this game for the Memphis Mad Dogs.
Charlie Miles' first touchdown of the year in '94. He played with the Sacramento Gold Miners. Second leading rusher that season with 403 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Gus was actually Sacramento's nomination for Rookie of the Year off that team, so you could show that he was very impressive with what he showed.
So we get a penalty, and they bring it 5 yards back for Memphis, and Charlie Miles managed to get into the corner of the end zone. From our vantage point, we really couldn't see it because it was such a close play. But Charlie Miles makes it a score for Memphis, and now the Mad Dogs looking very comfortable. Charlie Miles' first touchdown of the year. Memphis rolling right now. It's Formula One racing tomorrow on ESPN, 7:50 a.m., 4:50 a.m. Pacific time. The Grand Prix of Hungary tomorrow, once again, 7:50 a.m. Eastern time, 4:50 a.m. Pacific. The Grand Prix of Hungary.
Just right at the last minute, there's a question whether he gets a push right at thing, but you can see the right foot hits, the left foot comes in. As soon as that right foot is in there, that ball crosses the plane of the goal line. Good call by the officials.
Only the third rushing touchdown of the year, fourth rushing touchdown of the year for this Memphis team. They lead at 13-6. Here's Wright. Inside his 20, breaks it up the far sideline. Chris Wright out of bounds at the 47. 28-yard return for the rookie out of Georgia Southern.
This guy is pure entertainment, I tell you, and he is really a lot of fun to watch as you see him catch the ball, create some excitement, and he's the kind of guy when you get on the team as a return man, if you're blocking for him, all you need to know is if I get a little piece of my block, this guy has a chance to make a lot of things happen. So it makes his return team work a lot harder for him.
Tracy Ham, first down and 10 from his own 46. Mike Pringle, the lone setback. 3 receivers to the near side. Play action. Ham pumps once, gets out of the pocket, and he takes it himself. Tracy Ham wrestled out of bounds, and the fans here at Memorial Stadium want a penalty flag. None thrown on the play, though. 6-yard pickup, and good secondary coverage there, Danny.
Well, it's excellent secondary coverage, and all of a sudden Alex Gordon gets caught inside. Now he turns on that panic speed as he gets outside. Now take a look. This is really good heads-up play. He doesn't try to throw Tracy Ham down. He's holding him up. He's holding him up. If he throws him down, you're going to see some hands go. You're going to see Tracy Ham's head shake when he hits the turf. But Alex Gordon does a good job. That's why there's no flag on the play.
Alex Gordon in 1987, he made the all-rookie team in the NFL playing with the New York Jets. Second down. Complete underneath the Chris Armstrong at the Memphis 45. Ed Berry with the tackle. And what makes Chris Armstrong such a good receiver?
Well, I think he's so deceptive, and he runs such precision routes about it. He has an opportunity to set his guy up, and he and Tracy Ham have worked so long together. They've had a number of years of being with Edmonton, so that makes him a better player.
We're at the 3-minute warning, and your score, Memphis on top of Baltimore 13-6. Tomorrow on ESPN, it's Sunday Night Baseball as the New York Mets take on the Houston Astros. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's the Mets and Astros. And the Canadian flag flies here in Baltimore. It's the Canadian Football League, and we're in the midst of a Southern Division matchup which pits American teams, 5 American teams in the Southern Division. And Memphis and Baltimore trying to establish a rivalry here. Not a bad crowd on hand. Estimated 30,000. And it looks like they've gotten to that mark. First and 10 from the 45. And to Pringle. And Mike Pringle hangs on to the football, but almost got his head taken off by middle linebacker Greg Battle. He picks up 7.
Greg Battle has taken a lot of heads off in his day. Good zone coverage downfield by this Memphis Mad Dog team. Tracy Ham wants to take it upstairs, pumps it, reloads it, and at the last minute, he kind of hangs Pringle up. And Greg Battle makes no mistake once he gets there.
Mike Pringle, really effective out of the backfield, catching passes, his 15th reception on the year. And to the near side, Skinny Culver with the reception, steps out of bounds at the 24. So Tracy Ham put together a good drive here. He's starting to operate on this Memphis defense.
He shows a lot of confidence there. It's 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2, and he takes it down 15, 18 yards to the out pattern and throws something that he's very comfortable with. He and Culver, and this is a great thing that Don Matthews has said. Shannon Culver came back to camp this year more mature and ready to be a professional football player, ready to be a wide receiver.
Culver has 3 receptions for 36 yards, picked up 14 on the last play. First and 10 from the 24. Culver again, setting up the quick screen, and he ducks underneath, gets to the 20. Johnny Anderson with the tackle.
Tries to throw that hitch screen to the outside, and Johnny Anderson does great pursuit from the inside, but while it's made up is at the corner on that side. Damian Lyons comes from the outside, squeezes the play back in, and turns that play back into pursuit, and there's where Anderson is the man on the spot.
This is the 7th play of the drive, 2nd and 5 from the 20. Straight drop back for Ham. And Ham pursued, and he goes down at the 35. Johnny Anderson Anderson with the sack. His first of the season, and when Baltimore gets in the red zone in this game, they've struggled.
They really have struggled, and you see again that Tracy Ham wants to take it deep. This Memphis secondary has coverage all over the field, and that allows Anderson to be able to break through. This guy's not that big. He's about 6'1", 220 out of the University of Pacific, and he keeps working and keeps working, and he's able to have the speed to chase down Tracy Ham from behind when he tries to break containment.
So Carlos Huerta comes into the game to attempt a 40-yard field goal. And Carlos Huerta remains perfect. He's 3 for 3 on the evening. And your score is now 13-9. Carlos Huerta has been all the offense so far for this Baltimore squad.
That's very important for them that when they get down in the red zone, even though they have made some mistakes, an interception, a sack, a fumble, but they are not coming away empty-handed. This young man who was picked up in the dispersal draft out of the Las Vegas Posse team has really added a great kicking dimension to this already very potent Baltimore Stallion team.
Carlos Huerta has kicked 50, 52-yard, and a 42-yarder. 3 field goals, 3 for 3. Came into the game, nailing 79% of his field goals, which is 5th best in the league this year. So Memphis elects to take the football at the 35-yard line. On first down, draw play. This is Miles up to the 40, and he'll go backwards. His forward progress should establish the ball at the 40-yard line. Your scoring drive, 7 plays, covering 32 yards, and Carlos Huerta caps it off with a 40-yarder, his 3rd of the game.
Still having a tough time to score in the majors, but at this point, as long as Memphis doesn't open up the scoring on this, 13-9 is the kind of score that you'd like to have the opportunity to come back from, and Tracy Ham certainly has the ability with this weapon.
2nd and 5 from the 40. Catch made at the 45-yard line. Kendrick Jones hauls it in. He gains 8. Danny, you look at Ricky Foggy, who hadn't played a lot prior to this game. Give him a grade on how he's done since replacing Damon Allen.
Right now, I got to give him an A. I think he's doing pretty well. He is taking exactly what this Baltimore defense is going to give him, which isn't a lot. And then he's going to take it on himself a little bit on the naked bootleg, make a lot of things happen. He's creating the best defense against this Tracy Ham team, and that's keeping Tracy Ham on the bench.
On first down, Foggy puts it on the money, but Joe Horn unable to catch the football. That hit him in the worst place possible, right in his hand. Ricky Foggy, 4 of 7, 53 yards, and he should have been 4 of 5 of 7 here.
That's a long pass, the wide side out, and it hits him exactly where you say, in a bad place. Joe Horn just taking his eye and his concentration off ever just for that split second, and the ball hits the ground. It makes it 2nd and 10. You can anticipate that this Baltimore defense is going to get after Ricky Foggy on this play.
Because of injuries, Joe Horn is the veteran receiver on this team. He's got to make plays like that. Here's Foggy again, another completion. Keith Benton up to the 45-yard line. And he did a good job of running after he caught the football and picks up the first.
Baltimore came with the blitz. They brought O.J. Brigance. They also brought Matt Goodwin, the outside linebackers, and it forced Ricky Foggy to stand in the pocket, and he made a big completion.
Pick up at 17, time running out in the half. To the near side, incomplete, intended for Brad Breedlove. Charles Anthony defensively covering Breedlove on the play for Baltimore. 13 seconds remaining in the first half of play, with Memphis leading the Stallions 13-9.
Just remember now, at the last 3 minutes of the half, the clock is stopped after every play, particularly on the incompleted pass. Now it is remarked. If it's a running play inside, it is remarked, and then the clock will start. So you can get a lot of plays off in the CFL in this short 13 seconds.
2nd and 10 from the 45. He dumps it off. This is Perkins running for the first down with more room. Perkins down to the 25. Bruce Perkins, big 20-yard gain, and with 3 seconds left on the clock, Memphis has the ball on the 25-yard line of Baltimore.
Play action freezes everything inside, but Ricky Foggy's able to break out a contain of Alfred Payton and finds Perkins just slipping out into the flat. Perkins does a terrific job getting the ball up the field and picks up big yardage with only about 3 seconds to go. And at this point, you can see that Memphis would like to call, and probably has called a timeout. There's one timeout in each half in the Canadian Football League, so therefore the clock is not going to start.
And Nick Mystrom comes on for Pepper Rogers' squad as they utilize the time on the clock very well. And we have another timeout call. Looks like Baltimore will waste their timeout.
Exactly. They want to make that thing and make him think just a little bit. Make this young kicker think about it a little bit, and that guy is ready to call the half right there. The cock gun is ready to be fired.
Nick Mystrom. His father is the mayor of Anchorage, Alaska. And he's also a slot back, but because of inconsistency on the year, Donald Igwebuike was the kicker for this team last week, but had problems with immigration. We'll have to get that sorted out before he is allowed to play in the CFL again.
Igwebuike being one of the kickers that played last year for the Baltimore CFLers before they were named the Stallions.
33-yard field goal by Mystrom, looking to remain perfect on the evening. And it's blocked! It's blocked! Scramble for the football. Here's Mystrom. And Nick Mystrom goes down at the 35. O.J. Brigance crushes him, but Charles Anthony blocks the field goal, and that is how the first half of play will end from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore.
The bottom left of your screen, take a good look. Charles Anthony, number 9, comes in and really sails himself out. Does an excellent job of getting in the line of the kick. Number 21 is Irv Smith that comes up with it. Now it's a free ball. We're throwing it out there. And have you ever seen rugby before? Because this is a little piece of it. Mystrom is looking for a place. Maybe he can lateral it back to somebody, but nothing's going to have anything to do with it. O.J. Brigance takes him down.
Charles Anthony blocks the field goal, and at the end of one half of play, Memphis keep the lead 13-9. After one half of play, the Memphis Mad Dogs have surprised the Stallions from Baltimore. They lead it 13-9. And joining us now at halftime, the owner of the Baltimore Stallions, Jim Sparrows. And Jim, first of all, you guys last year in your inaugural season, you advanced to the Grey Cup. This year you come back and it seems like you haven't missed a beat at all.
Well, guys, we got a good football team, but we just came off a long road trip of 3 games in 8 days. We're a little banged up. I give this Memphis team a lot of credit tonight. They've got some defensive all-stars on that team with Battles and Harding and Tim Cofield. So we got our work cut out for us, but we got a great game, got a great crowd. And what's nice about Memorial Stadium? We got air conditioning in the box.
There's some sauna in here. I tell you, you're very involved in this league, and I know that you really are quite committed to the fact of expansion and of television contracts, but there's a lot of good things happening as far as expansion is concerned with the CFL in the United States.
Well, Dan, that's correct. First of all, I want to welcome Fred Smith and the mayor and the city council people that came in tonight to see the game from Memphis. Fred Smith and I had met earlier before the game and took a tour, and we're in agreement on a couple items here. One, Dan, we feel very strongly about getting a new name, hopefully by Grey Cup, for the league that will represent both Canada and the United States equally. We got to market this league to 250 Americans, not just 39 million Canadians, so we can have that critical mass we're looking for. If we do that, we add hopefully 5 teams over the next 2 years, so we get that critical mass. Then we'll get the television contract that we're ultimately looking for, a cable deal with ESPN and also a conventional carrier in the U.S. So we can get, the viewers to watch this for 300 million people across all of North America.
And the people here in the United States will get an opportunity to really see what the Canadian Football League is like in 1997 right here
Well,
at Baltimore.
That's correct, Gus. This is the home of the Grey Cup. We plan to have this place sold out with over 60,000 people. It'll be a great festive week, and it's great for the city of Baltimore, and it'll be great for the league because they've never had a Grey Cup outside of Canada.
Well, Jim, thank you very much for joining us. Jim Sparrows, the owner of the Baltimore Stallions. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the first half, analyze it, and show you some statistics. 13-9, we're at halftime in Baltimore. Despite an injury to their quarterback, the Memphis Mad Dogs have prevailed in at least the first half of play. They lead at 13-9. That injury coming to Damon Allen, and this was a nasty one.
Well, as I said, he's looking downfield, and he just doesn't see Gerald Bayless come in off the middle, and he catches that left knee completely planted, and it's got nowhere to go. Those seven stud cleats that had there were firmly planted into that grass, and Gerald Bayless made a tackle on that play.
Charlie Miles got into the end zone, though, for this Memphis team.
Great speed came with the option play, and they're using Miles and also Al Shipman to their advantage in the backfield.
But field goals were the story in the first half, especially for Baltimore. Carlos Huerta nails a 52-yarder, a 50-yarder, and the last one a 40-yarder, and he's remained perfect on the evening. So with Damon Allen out of the game with a sprained left knee, Ricky Foggy took over, and he still has this Memphis team on top of Baltimore as Memphis gets ready to kick off to the Stallions. Foggy 7 of 11, 109 yards.
Terrific play selection, mixed it up as I mentioned in the first half, ran the ball extremely well inside. And there's a good look at Carlos Huerta that has kept this Baltimore Stallions team very, very close. It's a potent offensive attack that can explode at any time. And Tracy Ham has had a whole half to see what the Mad Dogs have been doing to him defensively.
And another dangerous guy for this Baltimore team, Mike Pringle, standing at the 14-yard line. Well, also back deep, Chris Wright. This will be Pringle, size 10. Mike Pringle still on his feet, and he goes down at the 17-yard line. Return of 8 yards as Tracy Ham comes back onto the football field. Not really a great half for Tracy, 9 of 13 for 104 yards, but all year long, his numbers really haven't been up.
They really haven't, and that's because guys like Chris Wright and Mike Pringle, he's always starting on a short field. They have a great return team right now, and also they have the #1 punter in Josh Miller in the CFL that keeps backing teams up. So he's getting the ball 1st and 10 on about the 25, 35, 45, and he makes a lot of things happen, so his numbers statistically are not up.
Speaking of Josh Miller, he has not punted once this evening. On first down, Skinny Culver with the reception on the quick screen. He ducks inside, gets up to the 27-yard line. Rodney Harding making the tackle. Gain of 9.
Tracy Ham coming out, trying to establish some patience, having some confidence in some things they're doing. Get this Memphis defense to have to chase people wide, maybe slow them down, so somewhere in the 4th quarter, if they're a little tired, somebody's able to break something big open.
Ham came into the game, 83 of 161 for 1,300 yards. 2nd and short. And Pringle goes through the middle. Mike Pringle up to the 45-yard line. Some hard running by Mike Pringle, tackled by Ed Berry, gain of 18. And Danny, Mike Pringle came back on Wednesday, their only day in pads, and he said he wanted to definitely get some good work in.
He did, and that was a really inspirational workout that they had, and he said that Mike Pringle only knows one speed, and that's full out. Breaks the point of attack, and he's running straight to the safety, and you can see he runs right through the tackle of Eric Nelson.
First down and 10. This is Reggie Perry at midfield. Wide open on the crossing route. Perry tackled by Ford. And Tracy Ham with a big completion. First catch for Perry.
Hurry up offense, trying to limit a little bit of the defense that Memphis has been able to have some success with in the first half. Perry, just to show you how innovative he can be and how he can be in this athletic in the CFL, came to the Baltimore Stallions as a fullback and ends up being a slot back, 6'2", 205 out of USC. And that last shot that he took just sends him off to the sideline. As you see, the good thing about it, he looks to be okay walking off under his own steam. Maybe just lost his breath.
Reggie Perry got popped pretty hard, played quarterback at USC behind Todd Marinovich and Rob Johnson. First and 10 from the 54. Here's Pringle, flats all over the field, and Pringle plows his way down to the 39. Some hard running by Pringle. He's got a whole lot of energy to start this second half of play.
A couple of flags down, offsides against Memphis. They'll decline those penalties.
Offside. Memphis 45. Decline. First down.
Mike Pringle gains 16 yards, and they'll decline the penalty. 16-yard gain, and they'll be at the 39.
Gus, I can tell you that Don Matthews came into the league in 1977 as a defensive coordinator with the Evanston Eskimos when I was playing. He can be motivating at halftime, and it looks like it had a big effect on him.
Stallions load up the far side with 5 receivers. Quarterback draw for Ham, but he will not go anywhere. Stephen Bates with the tackle, and looks like Baltimore trying to surprise some people there.
And I think it could have been a good call at that time, going back with the quarterback draw, and he's trying to get Stephen Bates to go on the other side of the left guard, Mike Withercombe, but all of a sudden Bates does an excellent job, gets his shoulders back in front, and is able to spin back and get into the hole and get his hands on Tracy Ham.
Gain of only 1, 2nd and 9. Bates was drafted by the Rams in 1990. Played on the Colts developmental squad in 91. Here's Ham rolling, sets himself, fires, incomplete. Chris Armstrong was open, but Tracy Ham threw the ball behind him, and they'll have to bring on the field goal team again.
Tracy spinning out. Now it's a hard throw because he's going to plant quickly, and he doesn't know. He kind of can sense somebody's behind him, catch a little bit of vision out of Bates coming up in his eye, and he just releases the ball, and it sails behind the intended receiver, Chris Armstrong.
Carlos Huerta on to attempt a 46-yard field goal.
Well within his range and his leg strength.
He's 6 from 9 from this distance. And he remains perfect on the evening. Carlos Huerta drills his 4th field goal of the game, and Baltimore getting a little bit closer on the Huerta field goal.
Repairs call FNS Mobile Auto Service.
1-point ball game from the charmed city of Baltimore, Maryland, as Memphis leads 13-12. Carlos Huerta, 4 field goals, the last one a 46-yarder, and he's kept the Stallions in the ball game now. One rule in the Canadian Football League, teams have options after field goals and touchdowns. Tell them about it.
Well, after field goals, they have the option of either having the team kick off that scored the field goal, or they can scrimmage the ball from the 35-yard line. In this case, Memphis does decide to scrimmage it from the 35.
11-17 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Memphis leading by 1. Play action. Incomplete, and a flag has been thrown. Joe Horn was the intended receiver, and Courtney Griffin looks like he will be called for pass interference.
Joe Horn does a good job of really forcing Courtney Griffin deep, and then tries to turn on him and brings the curl route back. The pass was poorly thrown. It skipped to Joe Horn, but some contact took place prior to the pattern being
Pass
run.
interference. Baltimore number 25. First down.
Courtney Griffin in his first season. 5'10", 180 pounds. Was in camp with the Rams and played 8 games for them in 1993. Automatic first down from the 49. Perkins bursting through the middle. And Bruce Perkins gets inside Baltimore territory.
Bruce Perkins is on there, yeah.
The guys up front are doing an excellent job for Ricky Foggy and for these running backs. Hammond at center, Jones and Ritter at the guards, Perez at the left tackle, Brown at the right tackle. Explosion getting off the ball, actually winning at the point of attack and allowing good production on 1st and 10.
Bruce Perkins picks up 6. 2nd down and 4. They give it to him again. Perkins, unable to stay on his feet, tripped up and goes down at the 45, making the 44. But Bruce Perkins, if he would have been able to keep his balance, could have walked into the end zone.
Take a look at the explosion. They really are handling the guys on the line of scrimmage. Gerald Bayless favors to the right, tries to fall back into the hole, but he's off balance. And when you're off balance trying to hit a guy that's 240 pounds coming into the hole, Perkins gets the best of it and picks up the 1st down.
Perkins, 29 yards rushing on 5 carries. 1st down and 10 for the 47. Incomplete. Brad Breedlove, the intended receiver.
Take a good look at Joe Horn as he comes off the outside, going to press, and now the ball's on the air, and he doesn't look like he knows exactly what to do. It thinks that he's supposed to run a streak and do the clear out, and the pass, the main primary receiver, is supposed to be either the 2nd or 3rd guy in from him, and that pass caught him by surprise.
2nd down and 10 from the Baltimore 47 for Ricky Foggy. 3 receivers to the far side. Underneath, complete and dropped. Good pass by Foggy, but Charlie Miles had the ball in his hands momentarily and just flat out dropped it.
Ricky Foggy doing exactly what he had to do. Reads this defense extremely well, gets the zone, and he gets Miles coming right up into the seam, and he throws it in there with some zip. A little bit behind it, but a very catchable pass. When you get an opportunity to make something happen, it's best to be prepared for it, and it just like Charlie Miles wasn't on that particular play.
That brings on the Memphis punting unit. Tanner at the 50. Angles this one to the far side. Wright goes into the end zone, and he's going to take it out. Avoiding the single, Wright gets up to the 9 before being hauled down. So with 8 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, Memphis hanging on to a 13-12 lead, but Baltimore has the football.
Gus, here's an example where I think Chris Wright showed that he is a rookie. Catches the ball. Now, if he downs the ball right there, he gives up a single. 1 point for Memphis. And then they scrimmage the ball, 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line. He brings it out, tries to make something happen, backs Tracy Ham and the offense up and then where they catch the ball, and they make it 1st and 10 on about the 8. You can see Don Matthews having a conversation over there with him. Don Matthews very involved in running the special teams of the Baltimore Stallions.
So you would rather have good field position than to give up a point?
At this point, it's 13 to 12. You make it 14 to 12. You still have to kick a field goal if you're going to get ahead of it. So why not? 1 point, and there's a lot of ticks left on the clock.
From the 8, Pringle. And Pringle gets up to the 10 and runs into a roadblock of Memphis players. Not a big gain. Rodney Harding and Tim Cofield in on the play.
This has been a tenacious Memphis defense. They've gotten after. These guys aren't supposed to be able to be this conducive as far as making a lot of things happen. They have a lot of glue in there that holds them together. There's a good look at Tim Cofield, who has great experience, 5 years in it. Greg Battle with 9, Rodney Harding with 11. So these guys have gelled together very quickly as a unit.
2nd down and 8. Ham lets it go, and it's complete. At the 24, flags on the play. Complete at the 24. Robert Clark with the reception, a 14-yard gain, but they'll march this one back a holding penalty called against the Stallions.
Certainly does, since they made a big gain and picked up the first down, and it looked like they may have been calling that on the right tackle. The big cuz Neil Fort, 66. You see the concerned look on Don Matthews' face, working that gun pretty good.
And you can hear, if you listen closely, Don Matthews giving Boris Cheek a mouthful.
I think what he was trying to say was that Memphis was sending some people in late on the sideline. He wanted an illegal substitution, which constitutes a 15-yard penalty.
2nd and 13 from their own 5. Ham passing out of his own end zone, and Tracy Ham goes down in the end zone. That's a safety. And the Memphis Mad Dogs, the defense comes up with another big play. Alex Gordon making the sack and giving them 2 points.
Now it goes back to the very first thing as far as the miscalculation of Chris Wright coming out of that end zone. He could have given up 1. Now they have given up 2 points. Plus, Baltimore has to kick the ball off. The guys in front, that's big Alex Gordon, along with Stephen Bates. Terrific pressure, but that has caused, it's a coverage sack. Look at that, no place to go. A lot of heat quickly. Tracy Ham trying to get rid of the ball. Now Baltimore has to kick the punt off. They can either punt it or kick it off from the 35-yard line, but Memphis gets the ball back, plus 2 points.
So the rookie mistake has cost the Stallions 2 additional points plus the football. And Memphis, they've taken a 15-12 lead now, and they'll get the ball on offense coming up.
Now it comes after that safety also. If I'm not mistaken, I want to just clarify. Memphis has the opportunity and the option. They can either have them kick it off, which is a punter, or kick off, or they can scrimmage the ball from the 35-yard line again, just like the field goal. And it's confusing to Pep. I mean, when we were in the press conference yesterday, he was talking about it. He says, I don't know what to do with 12 guys. I don't know what to do with timeouts sometimes. I don't know what to do with illegal substitution or eligible numbers or ineligible numbers. And I think at some point, Pepper Rogers is just dumb like a fox, because this guy knows a lot about football, and that's his job as the head coach, to go out there and learn these rules of the new football league that he's a part of.
And you see a chuckle from the...
You explain it to me first, and then we'll both know.
Michael Cochran, the side judge, hearing it from Pepper Rogers, and you can see Cochran smiling. Hey, Coach, you got to look at the rule book a little bit more. On first down, here's Shipman. Rather, Miles breaks it outside and turns it back upfield and gets to the 45. Pepper Rogers, one of the most animated coaches we've seen in the CFL this year. Graduated from Georgia Tech in 1954 and coached at Kansas, UCLA, Georgia Tech, and the Memphis Showboats of the USFL.
And the guy he's talking to at the left is Brett Williams, used to be nicknamed the Toaster, well-known defensive tackle in the league, all-star, all-pro, who is helping out as a special team coach and a volunteer coach.
First attempt from the 45, complete to Horn. Ricky Foggy hit immediately after making the throw by Gerald Bayless. Horn gets close to the 50, pickup of only 5.
You're going to take a 3-step drop, and the guy leaned on the other side is Gerald Bayless. And that guy right there is Adam Rita. Been a head coach in this league, Grey Cup champion with the Toronto Argonauts. Been a head coach also with the Ottawa Rough Riders. Terrific guy that knows a lot. An offensive coordinator with the Edmonton Eskimos in 1993 when they won the Grey Cup. Damon Allen was the quarterback, so he has his quarterback at hand right now, a man that knows a lot about the CFL.
Adam Rita, the assistant head coach now, no longer the offensive coordinator. This pass is incomplete. Buddy Geis, who coached at Tulane last year and also coached Sterling Sharp with the Green Bay Packers, is the new offensive coordinator for this Memphis Mad Dogs team. And Horn unable to haul the football in. Hit his hands and bounced out. And that brings on Canner to send it away This time with a little bit more experience for the rookie Chris Wright as he stands at his 20. After bringing the ball out of the end zone the last time he received a punt. Canner punting from the 35. End over end punt to the near side at the 21. Here's Wright. Wright still on his feet. And Chris Wright goes down at the 24-yard line, 44-yard punt, 5-yard return. So with 5:03 left in the third quarter, Memphis still lead 15-12. The CFL Game of the Week on ESPN2 makes a stop in Hamilton next week as the San Antonio Texans, the #2 team in the Southern Division, face the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time start for that ball game. Tracy Ham and company back on the field, and they kind of dodged a bullet, gave up the 2 points and the football, but the defense, as it has all year, Danny, came through for them again.
Well, they really had this defense of Baltimore is the kind of intimidating defense that if you're having problems offensively, they've had the ability in the past games to go out there, shut a team down 2 and out, and give the ball back into Tracy's hands as many times as can possibly make, because then obviously that's going to up the percentages of having something happen and scoring some points.
Ham 11 of 16, 123 yards, 1 interception. On first down. Quick screen to Culver. He has blockers in front of him. Culver almost broke it loose. Hauled down from behind at the 41. Alex Gordon making the tackle, gain of 15.
His screen to the wide side, and on that play, the corner's giving so much room that allows those big guys. See, Neil Fort, that's 330 pounds going out there. And I tell you what, I'd get behind him and like nobody would ever see me. I would be like an eclipse going through.
Fourth catch for Culver for 47 yards. First and 10 from the 40. And an offside penalty call. This is a free play for Baltimore. Pringle running the football, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. But it will be an offsides called against the Mad Dog defense. Looked like the left side of the line of Tim Cofield and Rodney Harding, maybe Darryl Ford jumping offsides.
Memphis 92, 1st and 5.
Rather make that Stephen Bates.
Offsides called against the Mad Dogs. 1st down, 5 from the 45-yard line.
Take a look to the left arm of Tracy Ham. See, he's just making sure he's showing just a little signal count to Mike Pringle in the backfield just to make sure that they're on the same page.
And another big tackle, this time in the Baltimore backfield. Mike Armstrong tackling Mike Pringle in the backfield. Loss of 2 yards. He makes his 4th tackle of the year. 6'3", 265-pound rookie.
This was a guy that coming into tonight's game led the Memphis Mad Dogs in special teams, so he really does hustle for a big man.
That makes it 2nd down and 7 from the 43. Ham rolling. In trouble, and Ham goes down again. And the crowd here at Memorial Stadium not pleased. Tim Cofield caught him when he came back the other way. Loss of 10 yards on the play.
You're talking about the Birds. We're not talking about the Orioles in this case. Tracy Ham comes out, has plenty of time, but some great move by Rodney Harding to cut off the angle of Tracy Ham, takes his containment back in, forces him back into a great pursuit with both Alex Gordon and also the man, Tim Cofield, out of Elizabeth City State.
So that brings on Josh Miller, the leading punter in the CFL. Standing at his 20, his first punt of the evening. And he hits a bomb. Back to the 20-yard line. Here's Jones. And Kendrick Jones goes out at the 31. 58-yard punt for Josh Miller. He came into the game averaging 46.7 yards per punt.
Gus, we got a couple of flags down, one back at the line of scrimmage and also one downfield. I think we're going to get an illegal block against Ed Berry down the field. But we'll wait to see what the flag at the line of scrimmage is going to be called.
Pepper Rogers trying to keep his team fired up on the sidelines. And Don Matthews with the look of frustration as his team trails 15-12.
Neil Payne with the call, and we'll listen.
Illegal block. Memphis number 13 has been accepted. Too many men on the field. Memphis has been declined.
Well, I guess all that conversation before with the ref with Pepper Rogers on the sideline didn't get it clarified about 12 or 13 or 14. But he said, well, maybe he should play with 11. He can get it done. But the main thing in this case for Memphis is the fact is that they still get to keep possession. There's a good look at Charlie Carpenter, the offensive line coach of Baltimore, talking to his guys in front of him to try to find out what's going on defensively that the Memphis Mad Dogs are doing to the Stallions.
First down from the 19. Foggy hit as he throws the ball, and it's incomplete. Keith Benton wide open, and he was unable to haul it in as Ricky Foggy was hit by Grant Carter as he released the football.
Ricky Foggy knows for a fact he's a veteran quarterback to spin around. You stand in this pocket long enough against a tough, fast defense like Baltimore. Sooner or later, somebody's got to get to you.
And here's the guy Foggy replaces. Damon Allen, who goes out with a sprained left knee after being tackled by Gerald Bayless in the first half. On second down, they try the trap play, and Alfred Payton wasn't fooled at all. The CFL's sack leader, he makes the tackle, his third tackle of the game, 14th of the year. Damon Allen.
It's awfully tough. I mean, with Damon Allen sitting that far off the sideline, he has an opportunity now maybe to look at this Baltimore defense, see a lot of things that's happening, and hopefully that he and Ricky Foggy can have some communication once he comes off to see if he can help Ricky see what's going on out there and maybe help this Memphis team keep a lead against Baltimore.
And Kramer. And here's Wright. Spinning, still on his feet, and Wright goes down at the 52-yard line. Stephen Bates makes the tackle. And next Saturday, it's the NFL preseason action. It continues on ESPN. Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills against Kansas City, and 8 p.m. Eastern time to start, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's Saturday on ESPN.
Hey, Gus, matter of fact, the Buffalo Bills are playing an exhibition game up in Toronto tonight against the Dallas Cowboys in the Sky Dome, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays. 53,000 people sold out in Toronto.
On first down, we have penalty flags again. Looking at Sharp Ordonez, last year's most outstanding lineman in the CFL in his rookie season. So he's playing with two very weak ankles. Wasn't even supposed to play this game.
That's exactly right. They were going to try to sit him down.
Procedure. Baltimore 68. First down repeated.
They were going to try to sit him down because his ankles are really having some problem. But just at the bottom of your screen, he makes that quick move inside. But during the course of the week's practice, John Earl tore a bicep muscle, who was the right guard. So therefore, it puts his brother, his twin brother, Guy Earl, playing the right guard. And Ordonez had to suit up. So he is playing out there with a couple of really bad ankles.
Ordonez graded out 90% or better 13 times last year. Here's Culver on the quick screen with room. Skinny Culver inside the 50. Finally slides down at the 47, picks up 6.
Now, this is the kind of good matchup you like to see on a hitch screen because he puts Colbert out there against Odegaard, and Odegaard is really going to respect the speed of Colbert, and that allows that hitch screen to be set up in enough time for those offensive linemen to get out there and make a block.
2nd and 11. And Tracy Ham goes down at the 45, only a 3-yard gain. And when Ham throws a football this evening, it's kind of been feast or famine. He's looked a little confused on a number of plays.
Cover and sack. I tell you what, this Memphis defense is playing well together as a unit. Some heat in front, scrambles Tracy, but look at the discipline they have. Stay with your man right until Tracy Ham breaks the line of scrimmage, then leave your guy, leave the receiver, come up and pursue, make the tackle short of the first down, and that's exactly what they did, and it puts Baltimore in the kicking situation.
And Don Matthews talking to his all-star quarterback.
Your attention, please. It's time again for Burning Paint Company's best seat in the stadium.
But right now we have an injury on the field. That's Greg Battle. Looks like he may have caught a cramp in his left calf. He's trying to stretch it out.
That's a great call because that's exactly, Greg Battle has historically had problems latter part of the games, third quarter, late in the third quarter, fourth quarter, of losing a lot of fluid and obviously just cramping up very dramatically.
Greg Battle played with Winnipeg, and he led the Blue Bombers in tackles 4 straight years from '89 to 1992. Had 100 or more tackles 3 years in a row from '89 to '91.
Played with Las Vegas in 1994. Also then was traded to Ottawa, but was injured a lot, so we didn't get to see Greg Battle play the way that Greg Battle that we know. This year he's playing.
When you're a linebacker, and you played linebacker here in the CFL for 10 years, we've seen games all year, a lot of running and a lot of activity by the middle linebacker, and these things happen to these kind of guys a whole lot, I've noticed during the year.
And at times, I think as far as pass coverage, and also because the field is so wide, you got to run from sideline to sideline. There is a lot of pursuit going on, and you got to play really good pass defense. So you're really moving a lot, and it's very important. You've got to keep your fluid intake in. Obviously, Greg sweats a lot, but he has some problems in losing that fluid, and then that causes the cramp. He's been notorious of going off, coming back on the field 5 or 6 times through the course of the fourth quarter of games that I've noticed over the years that I've watched him.
Attendance this evening, 31,221 at Memorial Stadium to see the first place Baltimore Stallions and the Memphis Mad Dogs. And Miller sends it away, angled toward the near sidelines, and it goes out of bounds, and they will mark it as the official, the side judge, continues to walk. They're going to mark it at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, a poor kick. He was really trying to get a little coffin corner there, but it came off the side of his foot. And Neil Payne, the official, had a keen spot and a keen eye on it. Brought it up to the 20-yard line.
And that will work against his average, and it'll also end the third quarter of play. So we've got one more quarter ahead of us with Memphis still hanging on 15-12. And we're starting the fourth and final quarter from Baltimore. Charlie Miles carrying the ball on first down, and he picks up a big chunk of yardage and a first down. Gain of 12, and we're at the beginning of the fourth and final quarter of this Southern Division game. Memphis leading Baltimore 15-12, but the fourth quarter, it's been a telling story for both these teams. For Memphis, they've been outscored 55-29 in the fourth quarter this year, while for Baltimore, they've outscored opponents 35-13. To the far side, incomplete, intended for Brad Breedlove. Ricky Foggy misfiring there.
Done a good job of coming off the bench. Again, he really has control out there, and it looks like the offensive personnel around him have a lot of faith in his ability. It's important that Ricky Foggy gets somewhat production on 1st and 10, and he doesn't put himself in this situation. 2nd and long, knowing Don Matthews pretty well. This is the kind of situation he likes to get after the quarterback, force some pressure on him, and see if he can make a turnover.
Damon Allen wishing that he could be in the ball game right now. 2nd and 10 from the 31. Foggy to the far side, and little communication problem on the route. Joe Horn, the intended receiver. Ball thrown wide of Joe Horn. In the CFL right now, Birmingham playing at Winnipeg, and they lead it 19-12 at halftime. Matt Dunnigan and the Birmingham Barracudas have hit a dry spell as of late, but that'd be a big win for him on the road this evening. Here's Canner standing at his own 16. Chris Wright back deep for Baltimore. Wright catches it on the run at the 50, flags on the play, and he gets inside Memphis territory. This will be a no yards penalty, maybe the 15-yarder, because the punt team of Memphis not slowing up at all for Chris Wright. 39-yard punt.
Just to clarify, Gus, there is the 15-yard, no yard. When guys get caught in that 5-yard perimeter zone, there's no fair catch in the CFL, but you have to give the returner 5 yards.
No yards. Memphis, 15-yard penalty. First up.
Take a look as he comes in there. Chris Wright goes in there. Now the guy runs by him. It's pretty close on the way as he goes by. He could have been about 3 or 4 yards past him. Trying to really distract Chris Wright and maybe take his concentration off of it, but they get called for the no yards. If the ball, if you can see a coverage guy going down and trying to get out of the way, out of the zone, and it's unintentional, then it becomes the no yards penalty is only a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Wright averaging 165 all-purpose yards per game. 1st and 10. This is Robert Drummond, his first reception, lowers his head and picks up the first down at the 39. Drummond tackled by Ed Berry. Gain of 10.
What a terrific athlete that Robert Drummond is. He's 6'3", about 215, out of Syracuse. And he is terrific as far as coming out of the backfield and doing as we just saw. Using it as a receiver, they try to get the mismatch with a guy that can turn 4-3 against the linebacker or even against the halfback because he's faster than most of the guys on that defense.
First down from the 40. Draw play to Pringle. He hops over one guy and gets down to the 35. Rodney Harding thought he had Mike Pringle, but Pringle elevated, got over him, and picked up some positive yardage. Gains 5. And as we came into the ball game, this is how the Southern Division looked. Baltimore up 5-2. San Antonio right on their heels, though, at 4-4 on the year. Followed by Birmingham, Memphis, and Shreveport. Don Matthews has been a winner everywhere he's gone. Won 6 Grey Cups as a defensive coordinator at Edmonton as he coached the guy that's standing right next to me, Dan Kepley. And coming up, we'll see if his team can put it in the end zone right after this. And for the best in minor league baseball, don't forget to join us 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific for baseball across America. Matt Vasgersian and Steve Lyons, the former Boston Red Sox and Chicago White Sox, bring you all the play-by-play action. It's the Hickory Crawdads in Augusta green jackets from Augusta, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And we have an injured player that has just been taken off the field. It's Alex Gordon, as our cameraman needs a little bit of oxygen down there.
Hey, let's see if we can get one of those up here in the booth. This is a little smoking up here. Starting to feel a little faint.
They got the big fans blowing, and this Memphis team is trying to hold on. As bad as Baltimore has played this evening, they're still leading the ball game, and with the chance to stick it in the end zone and go ahead here. Here's Pringle to the 30. Mike Pringle picks up 5 yards as he's stopped by Greg Battle. And he will be short of the first down, so Don Matthews has a decision to make here.
Going to be about 3rd and about 1. And right now, the kicker, Carlos Huerta, is out there in the CFL. Right now, when you line up, the defensive line lines up a yard off the line of scrimmage, and you guys got some people up front at this Baltimore offensive line. Subas at 285, Whitcomb on the left guard at 300, Earl at the right guard at 300. I would never second-guess Coach Matthews' decision because I respect him fully, but he feels right now that going for the field goal is the best thing to do and come away with some points and tie this ball game up.
Well, Carlos Huerta has been perfect. 4 for 4. This one a 38-yarder, which will be his shortest of the evening. And it hits the goalpost. Carlos Huerta misses for the first time as it hit the left upright. And the fans here at Memorial Stadium unappreciative of the decision to kick the field goal, and they let the Baltimore Stallions know about it.
Take a look. Good snap, good hole. It's a heck of a kick, except you could give him a whole bag of balls again and he probably couldn't hit that upright. But on this case, take a look at Pepper. Oh yeah, now I understand that. You don't have to worry about numbers, ineligible, uneligible, whatever it is. I know that hit the goalpost, and we don't give up any points.
Pepper Rogers. 10:50 left in the fourth quarter, 15-12. Foggy throwing on first down, going for the long ball. Incomplete, but there is a flag.
Oh, hold on, Gus. We got to take a look at this.
Joe Horn, the intended receiver, had both hands on the football as it was thrown short.
Let's go back. This is Courtney Griffin again on the corner. Now it's nothing but the street route. Kind of a stop and go. He's got him beat by a couple of yards. Now as he goes up, watch Horn. He catches the ball. The contact's made after the catch, after the touch of the ball. And I don't think so. I think we just got away with one there as far as me being a referee for the night.
So the pass interference call gives Memphis an automatic first down and a 33-yard gain.
Vince Lombardi said, dancing's contact, football's a hitting sport. That wasn't even dancing.
First and 10 from the 52. Shipman. Haven't heard from Shipman very much during the second half. He gets to the 47, another flag on the play at midfield.
Send it back because holding against Memphis, sometimes the only way that you're going to be able to block a guy the caliber of Gerald Bayless is the holding. Speaking of Gerald Bayless, today, maybe why he's playing so hard, it's his birthday. Gerald Bayless is 33 years old today. And, yeah, that's right. Hey, partner, isn't it your birthday today?
No.
It was
My
yesterday.
birthday was a couple days ago.
Couple days ago?
August 10th.
And how old did you just turn?
21.
Oh, Lord. I think more like 28. But that's okay. You're a young-looking 28-year-old fella. I got ties as old as you.
First down and long for Memphis from the 49. To the near side, Horn complete at the 55. Keeps his feet going and plows his way ahead all the way down to the 45. Well, I tell you, between Dan Kepley and Mike Mayock, who'll be joining us later during the year and was with us last year, I take more heat from you guys than I do from anybody else that I know.
Well, it's only because now we look at you as one of our children, you know, because you're so young.
Yeah.
Take a look at Joe Horn, how well he does as far as looking this ball in. It's dispersed and very long, about 25, and he picks up a significant amount of it back. And he puts Ricky Foggy in this Memphis Bad Dog offense in a situation of about 2nd and 4. Great things going on. They're keeping possession of the ball, and ticks are going off the clock.
Game 15, second down and 4. And complete. Again, another great adjustment at the end of the pattern by Joe Horn, and he lets us know it's a first down. 20-yard gain.
Now, right at the top of your screen, now, you may not think this, but I think this is a call play. When they get even match to match, automatically, that Ferky Foggy is going to throw this ball behind the defender because all of his speed is going frontwards. The receiver knows he's going to come back for it, and that creates that separation and made what looked like a really tough catch very easy for Joe Horn. Big catch.
7 receptions, 118 yards. Joe Horn did not play college football, played junior college football. Itawamba Junior College in Mississippi. And he's having a big game, the second big game in a row for him. They keep it on the ground to Perkins. He picks up 4, and slowly but surely Memphis marching the ball downfield.
They've been good. They have not been all that successful as far as when they get into the red zone, as far as getting it into the end zone. One major score already, and it's important for them right now to see if they definitely come away with some kind of points. They need the field goal for sure. The major they would love.
Out of the I formation, second down, 8. They give it to the up back. Perkins headed for the end zone. Touchdown, Memphis. Bruce Perkins picks up his first touchdown of the year, and the Memphis Mad Dogs are in good shape with a little over 8 minutes remaining in the ball game.
I formation spreads this defense out. Counter dive, just all he does is hands it back, and that collapse that whole left side of the Baltimore defense down. Perkins finds the open area, strides over the safety, gets into the end zone for the major. What a play, what a run by the big back out of Arizona State.
And the extra point is good. Bruce Perkins, 23-yard touchdown, and the Memphis Mad Dogs continue to surprise this Baltimore team. They lead it 22-12.
This free video shows you how Bowflex...
At Carburetor Master and Tune, we know your car is a priority. It gets you to work to pay your bills. And if it stalls, doesn't stop...
My place to buy is Bruno's.
And what an interesting call here on 2nd and 7.
Well, it's a good call. I think it's conservative in the fact that if they don't make this play, they're in good field goal range. They've had success. They're leading 15-12 at that time. It would make it 18-12 till force Baltimore to have to score the major. But unfortunately for Baltimore, they break it. Memphis breaks it wide open. Perkins gets it into the end zone, scores the major, and now they have a 10-point lead at 22-12.
Pepper Rogers has his squad on top 22-12, and you know, he was talking, as we told you, about the entire evening about all the things that he had been doing right with this team, but like you said, crazy like a fox, he's got his guys out in front 22-12.
You want to get done, this guy's got a key to the hen house.
The ball is kicked out of bounds. It'll be a penalty against Memphis. They can either accept the penalty yardage or do it again. And it looks like they will have Memphis kick it over.
Back it up, that's exactly. Back it up, have them kick it over again. When you got a return guy like Chris Wright, who's had the success that he has at kickoff, then you give him another opportunity to get the ball in his hands.
Aaron Canner has been averaging 66 yards per kick this year coming into this ball game.
Out of Catawba in North Carolina.
And with a guy like Chris Wright and Mike Pringle back deep, you want to see if you can get the ball in their hands.
Well, it's kind of like as Canner looks down, he's seeing Wright and Pringle back there. That's like the lesser of two evils of which way you like to dive. You're not sure which way you want to kick it to either one of them.
Kicking from the 30 this time. Headed out of bounds again. Okay. So this is not helping Memphis at all.
Well, and then also the coverage guys.
Legal kickoff, 5-yard penalty.
Bo Pepper is an animator. He wasn't that kind of excited yesterday at the press conference, but you can see how he does get that way on the sideline. But now, as a coverage team, you're going down there. These guys have already taken off, raced down there 40 yards. They got to turn around. The ball's kicked off. and you look around, and that's why they give kickers a hard time all the time. All you have to do is stand around all day long and practice, kick the ball. It's 65-yard wide. Kick it in the middle of it somewhere. We'll go down there and make the tackle.
Now this coming from a middle linebacker. Now if I had a kicker up here, he probably would have a whole lot more sympathy than you.
Oh, now wait a minute.
Here we go. Mike Pringle from the 24. Pringle with an avenue. Plows ahead and goes down at the 47, making the 48. 24-yard return as Jamie Redmond makes the tackle.
Take a look as he gets it in. It's just a wedge right up the middle, and they've got some great speed to get downfield. And Redmond, they go helmet to helmet, and Pringle's going to try to get the best of this. But he set it up, 1st and 10 on the 46.
7:36 remaining for the Stallions as they trail 22-12. And it's intercepted. This is Battle. Battle down to the 20-yard line and finally knocked out of bounds at the 16. Greg Battle just stepping in front, and you could tell that he was slightly injured. He didn't turn on the jets after he picked up that ball.
Well, I'm not so sure that Greg, now about 31, 32 years old, that he's got all the jets, but you can see that cramping has had some effect on him. But what he did, he played heads-up ball. He really baited Tracy Ham into throwing this ball exactly to where he wanted to go. He knew where the play was going to be. There's trips to the left side. Greg Battle on the motion. As soon as it snaps, he goes to get underneath the 3rd guy in, which happens to be Culver. Makes good hands as far as concentration, and all he's looking now, he just wants to hold on to the ball. You see that little flea? He switches it from hand to hand. All middle linebackers want to be running back sometimes. Switches it over and puts the bone on the guy. He's just had a great football game.
Tracy Ham making the tackle, 4th interception of the year for Greg Battle. So the Mad Dogs get the ball on the Baltimore 17, and on 1st down, this is Perkins, who on his last carry scored a 23-yard touchdown, gains only 2 here.
Picked up by Alfred Payton.
Alfred Payton making the tackle.
No gain on the play, 2nd down, 10.
So Pepper Rogers getting excited on the sidelines. His team has an opportunity to come up with their 4th win of the year to improve to 500 on the season. They get in here and Ricky Burton. They run the fade route to the far side, incomplete. Joe Horn, the intended receiver, and looks like he may have even pushed off a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little contact as they get those shoulders in there, and it's kind of when you get inside in the paint, you got to move around a little bit. And Joe Horn put that shoulder down. Courtney Griffin's trying to think out there, what do they see on the films that make these guys want to pick on me all night long? What am I doing wrong? But they tried to do that fade route away from the corner and put it into the corner of the end zone, lob it up, and just have the receiver run underneath it. A very conservative play and a good play because he's going to throw it far enough out of bounds that it's not going to be intercepted. And then they can line it back up, 3rd, and try the field goal.
Here's Mystrom, 22-yard field goal. A little punch shot for him, and it's good.
Kick is up and good.
5:59 left in the ball game, and Memphis continues to impress. They lead at 25-12. They say when there's a full moon, strange things can happen, and that's definitely been the case this evening as the Baltimore Stallions, the #1 team in the Southern Division, just hadn't been able to connect on anything this evening. But on the other side of the line, the Memphis Mad Dogs have used the full moon to their advantage. They're playing some outstanding football right now.
They're perched and ready to howl at that moon tonight because they're having a good time. But they realize with 6 minutes to go, 25-12. It's not a substantial lead, but the defense of Memphis has really been keeping Tracy Ham and his offense in check this evening.
Tracy Ham on the sidelines, forced to think about his performance this evening. He's thrown 2 interceptions, 6 on the year now. Mike Pringle from the 19. Heading it up the near sidelines with room. Pringle trying to burst through and is finally ridden down at the 49 by Ed Berry. In Baltimore, they're coming off 3 straight road games in which they won 2 out of 3, and they come back home and deliver this kind of performance. I think maybe they looked a little bit past this Memphis team.
Well, this is a team right now that have won 10 games from last year and this year when Mike Pringle has rushed over 100 yards. The 2 losses that they had this year against BC, Pringle was 87 yards. Against Calgary, he was 33 yards, and he hasn't gotten 100 yards, of course, tonight, not rushing the ball, but he's a great pass receiver, as we just saw, out of the backfield.
Don Odegaard making the tackle as Pringle picks up 7. Last week, 33 yards rushing against the Calgary Stampeders and 12 carries for Mike Pringle.
Take a good look at Mike Pringle. That is a solid man right there. Listed at 5'9", 195. He is well put together, folks.
Play action. Ham stepping up, trying to get outside. He picks up the first down and scampers out of bounds. Tackle made by Johnny Anderson. And we talked about Pringle. 12 rushes, 91 yards. So by the end of this game, he will go over 100 yards. But when Baltimore has gotten in the red zone, they haven't been able to score touchdowns. But more importantly, they've made some big mistakes.
Well, they really have. A couple of interceptions, a fumble, a big sack for the Memphis defense, and it has shut Baltimore's production in that red zone down to nil.
First and 10 from the 40, and Ham somehow gets out of the way and avoids the sack. Tracy Ham gets up to the 35-yard line. Stephen Bates was all over him, but unable to haul him down.
Tracy Ham is no small man by any measure of the stick. He's 5'11", about 205 pounds. Great leg strength, as you can see. Bates tries to tackle him up top. He keeps those legs churning and able to pick up about 4 or 5 yards, make it 2nd and 6.
And firing complete. This is Mark Orlando, the rookie out of Towson State, and he makes the catch, barely picking it up off the carpet, and Baltimore picks up the first down as Orlando gains 12. Right on the top of his shoes.
Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. And Orlando does an excellent job of looking that concentration in as Baltimore wants to go to the hurry-up offense.
Mark Orlando, the all-time leading receiver at Towson State. I had a chance to call one of his games in college, which was one of the most exciting games I've ever seen when they played Howard University, and Howard had a quarterback by the name of Jay Walker, who now plays with the New England Patriots. Orlando in that game must have caught about 3 touchdowns playing here at Towson State as Howard managed to win it with no time left on the clock.
That's only his 2nd reception of the year. He came into the game only catching 1 pass, but the average was sure good for 53 yards.
Injured player at the 25. Can't get a number on him right now. As the trainers pay attention to him.
Let's take a look and just see if we can see what happens right at the end of this play. And that's Ed Berry that's coming over to take care of Orlando. You see the great concentration, and Ed just kind of lowers that head down and tries to strip the ball loose from Orlando. And as he slides around, looks like the weight of Orlando falls all right on the rib area of Ed Berry, and he grabs him immediately. Ed Berry out of Washington State in his 7th season. 2 Grey Cups rings that he's wearing, one in '91 with the Toronto Argonauts and in 1993 with the Edmonton Eskimos.
Ed Berry was selected by the Green Bay Packers in the 7th round during the 1987 draft. And he walks off the field really gimpy. You can tell he's holding his side. And Baltimore, though, has the ball in deep Memphis territory at the 23 and first down. Plenty of time for Ham, and Ham goes down at the 30. Another sack by Stevie Bates.
Tracy Ham drops for the loss.
Stephen Bates out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Again, a makeshift patchwork kind of secondary that's trying to piece some things together. Does an excellent job. Look how long they forced Tracy Ham to have to hold the ball, and the horses up front. Bates keeps working and working and working, and is able to corral Tracy Ham and put him on his head.
Loss of 12. Ham again, and Ham goes down for the second straight time behind his own line of scrimmage. This time Tim Cofield, and he picks up his 9th sack of the year. Memphis continues to roll 25-12. Memphis leads Baltimore 25-12 with 2 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in this ball game, and the Mad Dogs have done everything right. Gotten a great performance from their defense as usual, and a solid performance from their offensive unit led by Ricky Foggy in for Damon Allen. Into the game now, Carlos Huerta, who's 4 for 5 kicking field goals this evening. He's made a 50-yarder, a 52-yarder, a 40-yarder, and a 46-yarder. Missed the shortest one of the evening, a 38-yarder, which could have tied the game at that time in the third quarter. There's a 42-yard attempt right here for Carlos Huerta, the former All-American out of the University of Miami. And it's perfect. Carlos Huerta nails the 42-yarder and makes it a
Gus, another example of Tracy Ham and the Baltimore Stallions getting down in that red zone 30-yard line and coming away with only 3 points, giving up another sack in a crucial situation to Tim Cofield. And you can see maybe that's one of the reasons. Tracy Ham getting some tape done to the hamstring area to tighten it up, either the hamstring or the quad muscle in the front. And maybe he's just unable to get away from some of that heat.
Makes it a 25-15 game, and Mad Dogs will accept the ball on their own 35. They pitch it. This is Miles, Charlie Miles, hitting the backfield. Miles does not go very far.
Gus, again, we're in the last 3 minutes of the ball game, where now the clock is stopped until they respot the ball. Everybody gets on side, and so then now the clock is blown in. 2:36, 2:35 going in. So obviously Memphis is going to try to run off as many kicks on that clock as they can, but it's important. They've got to convert this second and long.
Loss of 1, second and 11. Complete underneath to Brad Breedlove. Charles Anthony with the tackle, but Mad Dogs will not have enough for the first down.
Big call right here, Gus, because it's only going to be about a foot or two short.
9-yard pickup. No doubt, though, in Pepper Rogers' mind, he sends out the punt team. With the way their defense has been playing, I guess he doesn't want to take any chances.
They certainly have had some great success out there, and if this kicker can get the ball off, and this coverage team, that's the most crucial thing right now. Get down, be disciplined, stay in your lanes, and not allow Chris Wright to break a big one on you, and get great field position for Tracy Ham.
Stallions need a big return here from Chris Wright, who's at his own 25. White goes back to the 20, breaks it upfield. Chris Wright up to the 40-yard line. Good running by Chris Wright. 50-yard punt, 20-yard return, and a new quarterback in the game now for Baltimore, Sean Jones. who led the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to a national championship his senior year. And he's 15 of 30. 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception on the year.
Tough situation to come in. Haven't had a lot of time playing this year behind Tracy Ham, but in a crucial situation when you have to make something big happen.
To the far side, complete to Armstrong. Armstrong headed to the sidelines, gets out of bounds, and stops the clock.
Completes his first pass to Chris Armstrong.
Chris Armstrong has been very quiet here in the second half. And he's showing emotion there. Wants the football. And there is another injured player. Looks like Shannon Culver. And Culver in a lot of pain right now as he grabbing his groin area.
Culver's been very active tonight, and at some point in time, you just never know what a very physical game has had on him. He came back and threw a great block, and he's been very physical out there, and it's starting to take its toll on the young receiver.
Skinny Culver coming out of the game. He's got 5 receptions for 53 yards. And stung a little bit, but he's okay.
He's 5'10", 160 or so. I don't know what he gets the name Skinny from. He's probably all buffed up. Big arms on him.
Jim Sparrows not pleased with the way his team's performing right now. 2nd and 4 for Sean Jones from the 46. Out of the shotgun, under pressure. Jones trying to buy some time, unloads, and it's caught! Mark Orlando at the 51-yard line, and it looks like he'll get the first down. So the local boy comes up with the big reception. And
the advantage of having a new quarterback come in that's got some mobility and some fresh legs, able to get out of the chase that Memphis has, and Junior Robinson goes underneath to go for the pick. Mark Orlando, with that great concentration and soft hands, comes up with the big catch to keep the drive alive.
The story on Orlando, not a lot of speed, but will catch anything thrown near him. Jones to the near side, a big hit. Put on Chris Armstrong by Junior Robinson. But Armstrong holds on to the football, gains 6 yards.
Junior Robinson, 5'9", 185, out of my alma mater at East Carolina. Comes up and shows why he can close on that ball, makes a solid tackle. And maybe he's playing with a little more enthusiasm. He and his wife, Sandra, on August the 2nd, had their son, David III.
2nd and 5, and an interception. Don Odegaard picks it off and steps out of bounds at the 52, and that should be your ball game at this point. Don Odegaard, his 4th interception of the season, and Pepper Rogers will take this one right back on down to Memphis with a smile as Odegaard pretty much seals the game for the Dogs.
Don Odegaard showed in his experience in the secondary, going from safety, being prepared to play any position that you can. Just give me an opportunity. Put me in, coach. I'll play anywhere. Plays at the halfback now with the injury to Ed Berry, and you can see the happiness on that guy's face. Comes up with the big pick. That's his 4th of the season.
4th turnover of the ball game for Baltimore, and they put on 3 interceptions this evening. 1 fumble deep in Memphis territory. Baltimore came into this game, ironically, plus 25 in giveaway takeaway. The #1 team in the Canadian Football League.
Exactly, and I think tonight that's the thing that's going to really disturb Coach Matthews. It could be the effort, but also a lot of the mental errors that took place out there on the field.
2nd down. 54 seconds remaining between Memphis's 4th win of the season. Perkins running the football. Alfred Payton with initial contact as he tried to strip it away.
Don Matthews will call a timeout here. It'll stop the clock. It'll be 3rd and about 4. It'll force Memphis into a punting situation. And hopefully, Don Matthews feels that he can get this ball back and possibly something can happen. 44 seconds again in the Canadian Football League is a long time.
Don Matthews still coaching despite the score right now. He's coaching for next week. Keeping on his players, and ironically, we spoke to Matthews during the press conference. He said they had a great week of practice.
He really did. He was uplifted by, after the long road trip, getting back home, having an inspired day where they only had one practice with pads on. So they were out there, they were very enthusiastic, and he felt extremely comfortable that they were going to bounce back from the loss to the Calgary Stampeders.
Canner at the 45. Wright fields it on the run. At the 25, trying to get outside. Chris Wright goes backwards and is down at
Chris
the
Wright
20.
on the return for
Eric
the
Nelson with the tackle. The story of this game, folks, turnovers. Baltimore committing 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. Memphis, no turnovers.
And also the same thing, Gus, is the fact of Tracy Ham and the Baltimore offense that is noted for his potency as far as getting down again into that red zone and coming away with nothing sometimes, or having to settle for a field goal. This is a team that up until this point had scored 21 touchdowns in 28 quarters coming into this game.
Tracy Ham, the CFL's 9th all-time leading passer. Rough game for him this evening. Here's Jones, and they give it to Pringle. Pringle breaking through. Tackle from behind at the 49. Memphis in the soft zone right now. 27 seconds remaining on the clock.
And that rush right there would definitely break a 100-yard mark for Mike Pringle, and this will be the first time since the beginning of last year that they may lose a ball game or going to lose a ball game when Mike Pringle has rushed for over 100 yards.
Gain of 25. 19 seconds left. Jones to Pringle out of the backfield, and he drops a football. A flag in the Stallions backfield. Rodney Harding looks like he may be called for roughing the passer or a holding penalty.
Holding. Baltimore is 65. 10-yard penalty.
Very concerned look when Jim Spiros, the owner of the Baltimore Stallions, had a great opportunity to visit with him, as he said, at halftime. He's a very charismatic fella. He has a lot of belief and faith in both his team and the CFL.
Pringle again. And Mike Pringle tackled by Greg Battle, who came up with a big interception. His 4th of the season to kill yet another Stallions drive. And this is one game that Pepper Rogers and his entire staff will take some pleasure in viewing when they watch films next week.
As you can see right there, the clock's going to run out in the Canadian Football League, but one play still has to be run, and a victory for the Memphis Mad Dogs.
Here's Pringle again, and ironically, Pringle on the last play, no gain, as Mike Armstrong comes up with the tackle. So this one ends with Memphis beating Baltimore 25-15. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at this ball game right after this quick message. The CFL on ESPN2 has been brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Levi's 501 Jeans. Be your own reason. And the final score, Memphis comes into Baltimore, and he'll take a win back home as they beat the Stallions 25-15. Impressive win for the Dogs.
Very much so. Damon Allen got it going early, handed the torch to Ricky Foggy, and the defense played solid, did not give up anything.
Mad Dogs improved to 4-4, their first victory over a Southern Division team. Baltimore falls to 5-3. For Dan Kepley, I'm Gus Johnson. So long for Baltimore. We'll see you next week in Hamilton.